Hello, I'm Catherine. I've been coming to Southside for almost 21 years now, the whole time been married to Alistair, and it's lovely to get to share with you today. I wasn't sure what I was going to say, but I woke up this morning with that first line from Ecclesiastes 3 this morning, so I thought I would go and read that whole passage and see where that took me. So I'm going to read it now. There is a time for everything, and a season for every activity under the heavens, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to uproot, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to tear down and a time to build, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to scatter stones and a time to gather them, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing, a time to search and a time to give up, a time to keep and a time to throw away, a time to tear and a time to mend, a time to be silent and a time to speak, a time to love and a time to hate, a time for war and a time for peace. What do workers gain from their toil? I have seen the burden God has laid on the human race. He has made everything beautiful in its time. He has also set eternity in the human heart, yet no one can fathom what God has done from beginning to end. I know that there is nothing better for people than to be happy and to do good while they live, that each of them may eat and drink and find satisfaction in all their toil. This is the gift of God. I know that everything God does will endure forever. Nothing can be added to it and nothing taken from it. And as I was reading through that this morning, I thought there was so much for me, and hopefully there are words there that will resonate with you. I'm a mum, and I'm also a teacher, and my toil is going to get a little bit easier today because for us today is the last day of term, so that's great. I'm also a vet, which I have always been and always wanted to be my whole life. That was my real heart's desire. And I gave up doing that and became a teacher after David, our second child, was born, with the hope that I would get to spend a little bit more time with Logan and David and Alistair, and I've been really blessed being a teacher. And then a few years ago I went back to being a vet, which I do some of the time as well, and I'll probably be doing over the summer holidays. And I'm looking forward to that. I love being a vet. But one of the things that I've struggled with, or I did struggle with a lot over the years, was that really my heart's desire was to actually work overseas. I worked in Uganda. I don't know if you can see behind me, this is Kilimanjaro, where Alistair very romantically proposed. And I always hoped and dreamed that I would get to work overseas, and struggled so much when it became increasingly apparent that despite working in Haiti and Nepal and Uganda, that actually that wasn't going to be God's plan for my life, and have struggled with that a lot over the years, but have managed to find real peace and real joy. I love the bit in that verse where it says that God wants us to find satisfaction in all their toil. So a couple of things would really help me with that. And one of the lovely people that so many of us knew and loved and remember with such happiness is Shan, who helped me by telling me that she believed that one of God's main jobs, in fact probably God's main job for me, was to be a mum. And that has helped me accept that I can be a mum wherever I am in the world. And I've been so blessed. Our children bring me so much joy, and I love them so much and feel so blessed by them. So that has really helped me focus on my role in life. And also another person in our church who I think so many of us know and love as well is Roz, who helped me just a few years ago when again I found myself a little bit of a crossroads, and was feeling discontent about our situation, and again was saying I just would have loved God to take us overseas. And she very helpfully suggested that perhaps the devil was trying to steal the joy I had in our home situation and in the place that God has put us, and just really speaking wisdom into my life to say, God wants you to be blessed and doesn't want you to miss any of the blessings that you have in your own situation where he has put you. And that has given me a real sense of peace and a real renewed joy in the life that I have been blessed with here. And I'm so grateful to both of those amazing women, Shan Muir and Rose Fisher, and I thank them so much. Southside has been a huge supportive blessing to us over the years, and those are just two tiny little snippets, but have made such an impact on my life and my joy and my peace. So obviously, one of the other things that just struck me in this passage is that it says there is a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing, which I think perhaps before now I would have really struggled to understand, but obviously we've had to be really social distancing, and that has been so difficult. I've been so impressed as a teacher with how children have just been so accepting and so easily able to adapt, probably more than us oldies. They have just morphed into their life online and being able to carry on and accept their boundaries, and I think that's a huge lesson to us. And one of the main things that I have found in this time that I have enjoyed so much, particularly in this lockdown period, but one of the things that has helped me accept very much that this is God's choice for me and my family to be living in Ayrshire, is working with the 1010 Trust, who are just an amazing organisation. And while I've been in lockdown, I've been able to have more time and opportunity because we're not running around to swimming and running and all the other things that we do, and music lessons and sport, and being at home and working from home, being able to answer the phone for the 1010 Trust and go out and deliver food to people. And that has just brought me so much joy. Again, I think about what it says in that passage. It says, I know that there is nothing better for people than to be happy and to do good while they live, that each of them may eat and drink and find satisfaction in all their toil. This is the gift of God. And I really have found such huge satisfaction in that toil, helping people to eat and drink, people in so much need in our community. And the verse that the 1010 Trust takes their name from is John 10, verse 10, which says, I have come that they may have life and have it to the full. And I think that is, for me, the thing that has made my life so full. It's not just my family, because they're such a huge blessing, and my friends and the lovely life that we have, and working the two jobs, which I love so much. I always wanted to be a vet. It was my heart's desire my whole life. And then I've been so blessed to become a teacher and love that as well. But being part of the 1010 Trust, I think, is lovely because it is absolutely helping other people's lives, but it has helped my life to be so full and felt so rewarding. They're just a great organisation. If you would ever have some spare time and like to volunteer with, as I'm sure they would be absolutely overjoyed. But I really hope and pray today that we all feel peace in this time. We know it's not going to last forever, and that we know that God has a plan for us to bless us in this time, and that we would all know his peace and his love. Bless you all.